We got some news to get into, boys, and let me tell you, there's some really good news dropping today. New patch notes for 12.1 with some really nice features, so let's just dive straight in here. Season 2, we got also new mounts, by the way, and everything else to talk about. First of all, Midnight Season 2 dungeon testing begins on Thursday, June 25th. That's right, that's today. So we got dungeon testing going on, Altar of Fangs starting today, but then also on July 2nd, we have these Midnight Dungeons, the Binding Veil, Den of Nalarak, Murder's Row, and Voidscar Arena. And then on July 9th, we have Temple of Sethralis, King's Rest, and Ruby Life Pools. And then finally, July 16th to the 22nd, all dungeons will be testable. How many subs to skip the pre-watch content? Never. That's core content right there. I can't skip that. Also, during the testing period, you'll be able to acquire customizable Mythic Keystones by taking to the, going through the vendor. So this is Mythic Plus testing as well, jumping in and testing all that stuff. Should be good for anyone who actually enjoys the PTR. This week, the Omnium Folio upgrade. By the way, I missed this, so I feel like I got to report on it. The Omnium Folio upgrade, it happens every week after reset, so make sure you do it this week. Upgrade your power just that much more. This week, though, we're doing a ritual site. So first off, you got to go out to the Isle of Quel'Danas. I was lost as shit finding the Magister's Terrace for some reason. Eventually found it. The quest is not marked with a purple exclamation point or anything, so you got to go find this thing. Go to the Magister's Terrace, accept the quest, and then you got to go do a ritual site. Now, one nice thing about this quest is it doesn't matter what tier ritual site it is. So if you're just doing this for the sake of time, you can go do a tier 1 ritual site, grind that thing out real quick, come back, complete the quest. So not too bad. Filling out your second spot. Again, there's going to be 5 spots in total, so we still got 3 more weeks of time-gated content, basically, to fill out our Omnium Folio. But now you'll at least have your second slot. So there you go with that one. Now, the wonderful, the great, the amazing news dropping just last night. Blizzard finally, they listen to me. It has to be, right? They're watching my stream. I literally talked about this, I would say, like last week. Talking about solid lines, outlining things, and how nice it would be if Blizzard just turned the edges of the cones to a more solid outline. Well, Blizzard listened to Samiccus once again. It's prophetic. It really is. But first of all, what's happening with this? What does it all mean? Responding to player feedback / Samiccus feedback regarding Midnight 2 Season 2 dungeon rotations, Blizzard has released a large blog post on how they are choosing the dungeons this season and how they are creating a more clear outline for cones and other style attacks. So here's the thing. Not only are we getting the cones and everything in these outlines, they're also changing up the dungeons a lot. As I said before, people were like all up in arms. I mean, panties in a bunch and then shoved up their orifices about King's Rest being one of the dungeons. I know, I don't find that dungeon to be exciting either, but I told you guys there will be changes to the dungeon. It's not going to be the same version that we previously ran that was fucking annoying. So those changes are coming, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the changes happening. But first of all, let's talk about this one. So every dungeon is getting a full creature review to avoid the creature what the fuck is this? To avoid every creature from feeling the same and distribute challenges across the entire group. Now, here's a little change of philosophy for Season 2. Season 2 is trying to take some of the pressure off of tanks and healers. That's wonderful. But putting more pressure on DPS instead by slightly increasing health pools to encourage damage prioritization and cooldown timing. Wonderful. So let the toxicity begin for anyone who's low on the DPS charts. While some enemies' abilities will now deal less raw damage in exchange for applying more penalties to player output or mobility instead. So, sounds more like we'll get some more kind of DPS check timer stuff, more mobility being required, so more movement. Yeah, less parsing for all you parse lovers out there. That's what this sounds like. So, we'll see what that's all about. But it sounds like they're trying to make this more DPS dependent in terms of whether or not you're going to have success completing a dungeon. Also, the cone and line abilities. This is the exciting one for me. Cone and line abilities now have precast visuals to better communicate their impact area, intended to share the visual style of the circular ground effects. The visuals intended for attacks that hit instantly, such as Dragon's Breath and lasers, will have now a solid outline. Stationary cones will be filled, making them more visible, while abilities that track with the player will have the edges outlined, but the center, right here, this visual right up here, will be cleared out. That's amazing. as a tank, so many times I get tagged with these visuals or these cones that move with you, right? So you want to take that out of the raid, or you don't want to turn that one around so it hits everybody. And a lot of times I'm not sure which is which. So I do this thing where like I step outside of the cone and I see if it follows me for a second. I do a little sidestep because I'm not reading the dungeon journal. Who the fuck does that? So I'm doing a little sidestep to figure out, is this cone tracking me or is this a solid state cone? If I sidestep it and it doesn't move, then I just stay out of it. If it moves with me, then I sidestep back and I'm like, oh, okay, this is tracking my ass. I can't move this. So this is another great change from Blizzard here. I'll show you guys. They got more visuals of this. So here you go. You got your solid filled in cone. That means this cone will not move. And look at those new dark outlines. Look at that. Wonderful. No more cloudy, shady shit on the sides where you're not sure if you made it out or not. This is a solid outline now with a solid filler, which means this cone will not move. But then you go further here and you see this one. It's completely filled out, right? You got the solid outline, but nothing on the inside, which means if you move with this thing's going to track with you, so you got to be careful. Don't put other people in the cone. Yeah, nice. I agree. This is really good stuff from Blizzard. And then we even have here, same with charge abilities, right? So you got this forward charge. This one is filled in, which means if it charges, right, you can dodge it, get out of it. This thing's not going to follow you. Where here you have another charge ability. This one is not. This one's clear in the center, solid outline, which means if you try to move this charge ability, you're going to freaking kill people with this shit. So don't move. Take the charge like a fucking man. Okay? So this is really cool stuff. I love this. I've been talking about this for quite a while now, that we need more solid outlines for these abilities, because I can't tell what the hell's going on sometimes, or if I made it out. I understand, you know, the visuals, and I like the way they did it. Right? I like the way they did it. They didn't go full Final Fantasy where you're just getting like a solid triangle. It still looks visually like this is a poison shot in the area or a flaming shot. I like what they did. Artistically, I like the way it looks. I like the little kind of swirl shit coming off the edges. It doesn't just look like a triangle on the ground. So this is good. Take that charge. That's right. So this is good. I like what they did with this. I think overall this was much needed. They did it with swirlies. Now they're doing it with the charges and the cones. This is awesome stuff. Seeing the things you got to avoid is a nice freaking change for Blizzard, honestly. Okay, when it comes to changes to the dungeons, we got a couple things going on here. First of all, Murderer's Row. The Cantina event will gain progress faster, suffer less and no longer switch jobs. Zane Blade Sorrow will have less caster adds, and cast abilities have been removed from several mobs. For Den of Nalorok, we have the roleplay events will resolve quicker, the freezing wind will be easier to navigate, and some major enemies have been made less punishing. For Blinding Veil, several boss mechanics are being made more forgiving for pickup groups. The number of casters per pack of mobs has also been reduced. If you're noticing a theme here, they are making a lot of these like one hit on the tanks a little bit easier to take. That's what it looks like here. Voidscar Arena has changed enemy spawning to facilitate better routing, as well as more engaging boss mechanics. King's Rest, here it is, the famous one. Roleplay events will resolve quicker. The Council of Tribes has a fixed sequence, and Shadow of Zul is less punishing, and Dazar has all new abilities. So this sounds like this dungeon is getting more changes than any other dungeon. We have all new abilities. Obviously, the campaign stuff resolves quicker. Council of Tribes fixed sequence, and the Shadow of Zul is less punishing. So nerfing it a little bit. Hopefully, it's not as annoying as it used to be. For Temple of Sothralis, boss mechanics have been made less punishing and more consistent, and the final gauntlet and the final boss have also been reworked. And then finally, Ruby Life Pools here. Enemy density has been adjusted to be less cramped and chaotic, which is good. When you're going around that ring, that outer ring in Ruby Life Pools, the amount of mobs and the density of mobs there, I mean, people just pull shit all the time. It's just like never-ending pulls. Also, some enemy abilities have been made less spiky and more apparent, and dragons now patrol on the ground in order to be more visible for players. Good, no more freaking flying patrols. That's great to see. So good changes overall. If you want to dive further into these changes, what it all means, there's a lot of patch notes here that you can get into, the visuals that I looked at, every single dungeon change and what's really going on, deep diving. I'll link this in the chat and down below if you guys want to actually read through these patch notes. I prefer not to do that here right now. So there you go. Check it out if you want to. Great changes from Blizzard. I'm really happy about these 12.1 changes. Okay. Moving on to some interesting little mounts here. We got some double question mark mount, Delve boss. We talked about this one, but also we have our new mythic boss. That's right. The Primeval Skyfriend will be the mount that drops off of defeating the mythic boss here. So ult attack, killing her will give you this two-headed snaky boy. Okay, yeah, snakes are going to be a common theme here. You're going to notice with a lot of mounts. We got a two-headed snaky boy looking like a nice blue and green venom colorway with the venom dripping off. There's tons of venom dripping off of everything in this patch. You're going to notice that too with all the weapons and everything. So a nice looking mount. We talked about it before. The double question mark delve boss. I'm kind of sad about this one. I'll be honest. So why are we getting another mech suit? I didn't think we need another mech suit. Does anybody here, anyone craving a mech suit? I think we've gotten our fill of these. More than enough of them from Undermine, but here we are, another mech suit for the Let Him Solo achievement. This is when you solo the Delve boss, the Delve Nemesis boss is what you're going to get. So you get the Apoco or Apophic Soul Crusher. That's right. It's an all right looking mech mount, but I'm not that excited. I would have rather had some kind of snake mount, honestly, but there you go. That's what you're getting there. Also, if you're craving snake mounts, there's more to be had here. The Wind Serpent mounts just made it into WoW for the first time ever. We have all new Wind Serpent mounts, new colorways, and new ways to earn them. So first of all, patch 12.1 is bringing us the Emerald Skyfang, which is rewarded for the achievement Pro Poison Patroller. Which requires you to get 250 patrol tasks in the vaults of Altatech. So yeah, a standard kind of green snake, right? Green flying snake. I'm guessing these all share the animations with the same Dragon Hawk stuff. So that's that skeleton. This is working. But an all-new snakehead that we really haven't seen before on any of these style mounts. We also can get the Void-backed Skyfang. This one is rewarded from Ziljara's Forces, a new Renown faction pathway in 12.1. This flying mount is part of the Renown track. Renown 19 will unlock this one here. It's a bluish green and red colorway for this snake mount, so not too bad looking. And then we have these right here, which are currently in the being data mined, but no source in the game yet for them. So we'll see. Maybe these are trading post mounts or something else coming to the game. But we have this red colorway, which is honestly not bad looking at all. It's a red and black. The albino boy, I always like these albino color mounts, so I hope this one's been made available at some point. I like the green poison on the tail. It's all red and white here, but then you see that nice green poison tail. It's pretty cool. And then right here, we have a final colorway. This is you got your, I call this like the Amani Rainbow. It's like that green, turquoise blue and orange and red fading colorway. You see this on a lot of mounts in this expansion, this patch, I should say. So it's the Amani Rainbow. That's what it is. It's that green, teal, blue, and orange colorway. Really cool looking stuff. I'm not sure how we're going to get this one yet, but I do hope we get it at some point in the expansion. Cool looking stuff. Really happy about these cones. I have to say, I'm going to sleep real easy tonight looking at these. These are nice looking pictures. Can't wait. I wish this was already how the game was. Really good stuff. This is going to make tanking so much easier, knowing if these are going to move or not. And then the outlines, solid outlines. Perfect stuff. Got to give Blizzard credit on this. These look great. For today, that is all in terms of news.